Hey everyone, welcome back to the Blue Trumpet podcast. I'm your host Nick, and this is episode 3. I'd like to thank everybody who's been sticking in there with me to get to episode 3 so far. I've gotten calls and texts and a couple comments here and there and messages of, goodwill towards the podcast, and I've been enjoying them, and it's making me want to make more of these because I'm starting to think there's a future in it. So I just wanted to thank everybody and let everybody know that I appreciate everything y'all are doing. Today's podcast is really about some comedians that I like. Really my top 5 so far. Comedians that I like, that I've been listening to back to back to back. And I wanted to share it with you just in case you wanted to listen to some comedians in your time, in your off time, or while you're doing something, because everybody needs a good laugh. One of my first top comedians of all time so far is Tom Segura. And like I said, give him a listen. He has a lot of observational comedy, that it comes off like he's telling a story, so you can call it storytelling comedy. He has some good works out there that you can look up either through Netflix or YouTube or SoundCloud or iTunes, whatever listening media that you use. Here are some of his that I picked, and maybe you might enjoy some of them. So he has Thrilled, White Girls with Cornrows, Completely Normal, Mostly Stories, Disgraceful. And that's Tom Segura. Another comedian that I enjoy listening to, and he has somewhat of the same kind of comedy style. I'm getting this vibe that I really like observational comedy, and I like dark comedy. So y'all gonna see this in this list. So the next comedian I got on the lineup is Kyle Kinane. Once again, another good storytelling comedian, really good observational comedy, really good sarcasm going on. Some of his works are Death of the Party. I liked his older stuff, Loose in Chicago, and Whiskey Icarus. Like, if you like that kind of raspy, rusky voice, I don't even know if rusky's a word, but if you like that type of voice and you like it being told, I like to imagine it like that, the old guy who's sitting at the campfire telling stories about his life, and just imagine that type of guy and that type of voice. This is the guy you're looking for. Okay. My next comedian is Anthony Jeselnik. Now, Anthony Jeselnik is he has a dark humor to him. Okay. Some people might not like him because a lot of his topics are taboo and they come off real sarcastic. So this one is sort of like a, you either like him or you don't. But some of his works are on his albums are Shakespeare, Caligula, and Thoughts and Prayers. Like I said, he has a bit of a dark humor to him, and he uses a lot of sarcasm, and there's a lot of taboos in his work. So tread softly if you're not the type of person who wants to hear that type of comedy. Next on the list, John Mulaney. John Mulaney is another observational comedian. Now, he's not a comedy, but he's a comedian. And his stuff is still storytelling. It's lighthearted. It boosts your mood and stuff because he likes to involve his audience in a lot of like cheerful ways, but also in like it's observational comedy. It's pretty straightforward. It has a little goofiness, a little bounce to it if that's your thing. Some of his works include The Top Part, New in Town, and the Comeback Kid. Ooh, that you can find that on Netflix. And my final comedian. Now, understand, none of these comedians are in any particular order of good or bad. Okay. These are just so far the comedians that I've been listening to on the regular back to back for a while in my phone. So, Daniel Tosh. Most of us know Daniel Tosh from his show on Comedy Central, Tosh.0. But he also has a dark humor as a comedian. He also does observational comedy, and he has a lot of sarcastic, snarky kind of ways of introducing his special, his style to the world. You can find some of his works as being completely serious, happy thoughts, people pleaser. Sorry. Now I understand that this is not at all of these these comedians' bodies of work. I need to get it together. It's not all these comedians' bodies of work as a whole through their whole career, but these, to me, I think are some of their mainstream stand-ups. They get me laughing. So I just wanted to share a little glimpse into my comedic library and see if y'all haven't heard of them, go check them out, and maybe you'll get some laughs like I do. If you have any comedians that you know of that I haven't listed that you think I should hear or that you think everybody else should hear, leave a comment on some of these social media sites for the Blue Trumpet podcast, and let me, so I can hear them, so other people can hear them, so we can find out a little about some lesser known comedians or some really popular ones that I didn't mention. If you want me to talk about any other comedians out there, you can DM me on my Instagram, the Blue Trumpet Podcast. You can write comments on my YouTube. You can go to my SoundCloud. All of it's the Blue Trumpet Podcast. If you want to send me anything, you can DM me. You can email me on the trumpetboyshow@gmail.com, and give me some topics. Not just comedic, but give me some topics or something that you want me to talk about or ramble on about that you find interesting. But other than that, like I said, this stuff is going to get uploaded to my YouTube. It's going to be on my SoundCloud, and hopefully soon I can get some other social medias in here. Follow me on my Instagram, the Blue Trumpet Podcast. But thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate the activity and support that I'm getting from the community that is forming around this. And like I said, thank y'all. Peace.